Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this edition of Leak Project. I'm your host, Rex Bear, and we have fan favorite Jason Jeffries with us again. We're going to talk about some new data that Jason has put together on this possible Planet X anomaly in the sky. And this first video footage that we're looking at here is actually from Brisbane. Great footage, by the way, Jason. I'm really glad you found this because this might not be up for somebody that's trying to get access to it now, correct?
Yeah, that's actually, as I just showed you, we can't get it to pull back up unless I just refresh where I already uploaded it to the internet here. So yeah, this is the last of it, basically.
Okay. You know, now there's a guy by the name of Steve Dreyer, or his channel is Steve Dreyer YouTube channel, and he has a lot of stuff on Planet X and Nibiru. That's what he specializes in. And I tried to get him on the show before, but right now he's just so busy with what he's doing. He's focusing he's focusing pretty much all of his attention on his channel right now, and he doesn't do a lot of talking. He's letting the pictures and the video footage speak for themselves, and I appreciate that. So with the stuff that he's put together, I've seen some really good footage, and he's done a lot of stuff in Australia, and he's sent me images of what looks like these planetary bodies almost blocking out a part of the sun as they go around it, I guess you could say, in the orbit. But I've seen multiple webcams now from around the world that have these same anomalies. And what I am wondering is if these same things happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if you saw these same black spots that would be either in the center or off to the maybe 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock position, but still in front of the sun, so it looks like an eclipse almost because that part of it's blacked out. But he says that there's a lot of times he'll be getting video footage or basically screen capturing video footage from these cameras, and then he'll go back the next day or a few hours later and the stuff's gone. So it sounds to me like that's what they did with this stuff right here.
Yeah, that's what happened with the Dragon. When I got a couple of the first screenshots here in my archive of the Dragon, it was pulling up on the scan on the Google Sky and all the other programs. But me and you took like a couple weeks to get together and things like that, and you go back to Google Sky now and it's gone. They edited that out, but you can go to NASA Skyview and still see it, and then correlate it to Google Sky if you download Google Sky and Google Earth instead of the online version. But yeah, so since it was a downloaded, they'd have to upload, kind of make it an update, once they kind of change things. So
sure.
God slipped through the cracks there. And nobody hardly uses NASA Skyview, because it's you have to be giving it coordinates, to know where it's at. You can't just surf it. So,
right.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and get right into this video. This is Brisbane, Archer Field, Northwest. This day they were told that they were having extreme weather conditions, stay indoors, away from windows, all that. To clarify, it's,
Who was telling them that?
That was, I guess the local government, the
propaganda machine?
Yeah, the emergency broadcast, whatever. To clarify, sunset right now on this day would be 5:27. You can click view sunset and it'll take you right to that time, and it'll show you that. It's opposite the seasons, So we'll get right into it. Start it up here. There we go. And then here's sunset. So this is after sunset. Sun went down. Seen the sky get red. And we'll play it for one more second here, and I'll try to catch it. We got advanced through some frames. It's the easiest way to spot it. Right there. We get the first image of it in 622. 623, our refraction comes off of it. And the sun's down. This is behind the cloud layer. You can see it there. This is a whole minute different from the previous shot. This is 2 minutes, still there. 3 minutes, still there. Refraction, still there. 4, still there faintly. 5, I can still see it. Especially if you draw back on your screen, you can still see it there.
So this is a period of 5 minutes then?
And, well, 7. 7,
okay.
It disappears right here. You can see it fade away from the previous image. Cloud cover, you can see it obstructing the refraction even. And the refraction disappears as the object disappears. It's right there. You can see it. Oh, as it appears, the refraction appears on the camera, meaning it's giving off light. And it goes away as the object goes away. So, yeah, I'll show you if you click view sunset and go to time lapse, just to show you how this has really been pulled. And I mean, basically I was one of the last ones to get it, and I've watched the ones before it. It was there in a video or two before it too. Same thing. It looked like almost very similar, but you can't pull them up now, so I'll show you. It comes up like this and shows us the time that the sunset was 5:20. So it does that automatically, as updates with the sunset. So, yeah, interesting, huh? This is how I got it to bring back up. That's the only way we can get it to bring back up, is to actually go back, and it's just because they uploaded the images to, the server or whatever, basically a connection to my network there. We'll go to Google Sky, and this is Spot guy in the comment section there did on the last video we had, and he told us about a spot in the sky.
Thank you, Guy, in the comment section.
Well, I'll get to your name in a moment. Sorry about that.
I'm just joking, Jason.
So yeah, but it's nice to give recognition to those who deserve it.
Oh yeah.
So I'll go ahead and look it up here in a minute for you, Guy from the comment section. but he showed me a blank spot and wanted us to look at it and give us our intel. So
it's awesome how astute the listeners are here at the Leak Project. I know that you started listening how long ago, Jason?
About 2 months ago, I guess.
Okay, about 2 months ago. And I've just noticed a lot of the comments from the videos that we've done. People are like, man, this guy knows his stuff. He's coming on it in an approach of just an admirer, somebody that's seeking knowledge, a truth seeker, not somebody that's trying to sell a whole bunch of books or movies or films. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're doing anyway. But, there's oftentimes a different aspect and just energy or vibe, I guess you could say, when you have an opportunity to speak to somebody that's really doing this just for the knowledge and not necessarily for other purposes.
Yeah. When your intentions are pure, it shows, and that's what it is. That's why I only get like one or two people call me a shill or NWO conspirator. I'm like, explain, please explain. I'd like my check soon, because
right.
And I hear that you guys get a lot of money. But what's interesting is, like I said, I can point this out. I can look at it like I showed you before this. Every dip, there's only one dip and one peak, so it's only one wavelength, if you would, and then it's repeated, so you can reference it over and over again. But second dot on the right, second star on the right, straight till morning. But right here, that's Peter Pan, if you don't remember. but yeah, the red microwaves emitting off of it are really brilliant. Actually, if you look, there's not much else in the sky that matches that.
Like, why would they black that out?
That's because that's an actual image. See, we're seeing microwave information, infrared information. That's not something you physically see with the human eye. This, however, is a picture of space and whatever they didn't want us to see. Like I said further, like, there's many things that we know about our planet that we don't know. Like the Black Knight satellite, for instance, Tesla was communicating with.
Oh, Tesla was communicating with the Dark Knight satellite. I hadn't heard that before. Do you think it's 12,000 years old?
He actually said that. Well, that's how we've dated it. What happened was he was getting information, a code, off of this, and it actually turned out to be a star chart of the galaxy, a part in the known galaxy that was 12,000-year-old star chart, in a specific day 12,000 years ago. So it was actually relaying that information for at least that long. The signal seemed to match to be that old, and it's still going around the Earth. You can still see a couple of images of it. But that was actually my hypothesis of this, because it said it went south to north like any good satellite would go, retrograde, opposite orbit that we're spinning to cover more land fast, and then even go north to south and things like that to get, a total scan. So yeah, that thing's real, and this is a much smaller place, but it's emitting microwaves. We can say that much, and it's very, very, very south. If you look at the historical reference of it, it is actually a star that they marked a long time ago. It looks as if maybe that's that star right there. Yeah, I believe that is that star. Okay, so wrong assumption, but it is in the ankle of this, beside the cross, nonetheless. And you can see the cross when you look at it. I mean, it's there. Let me turn that off. I mean, you can pretty much see the cross, like what they were talking about. So, yeah. But that's very, very interesting. This is very, very southerly. So that's, something we wouldn't see from the North Pole. So, or the Northern Hemisphere. If we could, it'd be, I imagine, very, very rare. Very rare. I don't see how we could do it. I think it's impossible, basically. So, yeah. There's that. Let me see here. I had a couple other things. Let me look to my notes here. I went over a couple things here. I had a couple quotes I wanted to go over there that I forgot to go over. Just biblical quotes that I was showing you guys that I swear that's just talking about this thing, like showing that it's literally, these are new ones that I found I didn't previously mention. So just tell me what you think. Says Isaiah 13:10, for the stars of heaven and their constellations will not flash forth their light. The sun will be dark when it rises, and the moon will not shed its light. Joel 2:31, the sun will be turned into darkness, the moon into blood before the great and awesome day of the Lord, all caps, comes. I believe when they said Lord, all caps, they meant this planet, like Zeus, just the same way. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The star will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then it says, I will show you wonders in the heavens. This is Acts 2:19. Show you wonders in the heavens above, signs of the earth below, blood and fire, clouds of smoke. This other one, this really very important to me. The Lord shall come from the south, the Holy One from Mount Paran. Covered are the heavens with his halo, like we're getting a lot of halo pictures and stuff like that, maybe the Kachina. His splendor fills the earth. His brilliance is like light. His rays shine forth from where his power is concealed, meaning like the halo is, kind of where it's pointing to, but we can't see it. He's concealed, but the rays are pointing to where he is. The word goes before him. Sparks emanate from below. He pauses to measure the earth. He is seen, and the nations tremble. The other one, this is really, that point I had to make with this is this whole chapter was removed from the Bible around the same time when they basically made the King James Version, which was done to edit out a lot of the stuff that were in the Sumerian tablets, and when they transferred it over to the Bible, were very blatant about certain things. One of them being that, the Messiah in the book was Jesus Christ, and that proves the Jewish religion wrong. I mean, you can't have that. So, like, not being rude or anything. I'm just saying that's be a reason to withhold a whole chapter from a book, right? But I'll get to the point. In those days, the angel Uriel answered and said to me, behold, I have shown thee everything, Enoch, and I have revealed everything to thee that shalt see. This sun, this moon, the leaders of the stars of heaven, and all those who turn them, their tasks, times, and departures. What happened in the previous chapter of this is an angel from the sky takes this guy up to the sky, and with like divine drawings and like a spaceship kind of approach, sounds like, basically showed him orbital diagrams and charts and approaching bodies and basically like stellarium, but thousands of years ago, and like really detailed, really detailed, way ahead of its time. Like I said, we didn't have the word planet. We didn't know what a planet was. We called them stars. So that should be a very good indication how. Anyways, in the days of the sinners, the years shall be shortened. Their seed shall be tardy on the lands and the fields, and all things on the earth shall alter, and shall not appear in their time. The rain shall be kept back, chemtrails, and the heavens shall withhold it. Yeah, you'd think we'd have a drought if they weren't doing all this geoengineering. And in those times the fruits of the earth shall be backward, and shall not grow in their time, and the fruits of the trees shall be withheld in their time, and the moon shall alter her order, and not appear at her time. And in those days the sun shall be seen as he shall journey in the evening on the extremity of the great chariot in the west, meaning it's not going to rise where it usually does. And the sun shall shine more brightly than it accords with the order of light, meaning what's happening. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order prescribed, planets perturbed in their orbit. And these shall alter their orbits and tasks, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them. And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and thoughts of those on earth shall err concerning them, meaning most of the people will be wrong. Nibiru is a fake. You guys are trolls. It's shills. And the order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners. So basically, they're going to hide the sky from us. Yeah, they shall err and take them to be gods, and evil shall be multiplied upon them, and the punishment shall come upon them, so to destroy them all. I figure that pretty much speaks for itself when you're talking about why they removed it. And yeah, thought that was interesting fun. But this was the picture we got. And the movie The Purge, the election year, you guys probably seen the ads since you're avid YouTubers. And we just thought that was odd. I did anyways, how it pretty much matched. Most of the other images actually show it the other way, just like this, which is odd enough. But yeah.
Huh.
I wanted to go to another thing. Let me see here. I gotta pull it up. The planets today. We had a subscriber ask us if the date on the bill was a certain date, and we could just gonna verify that real easy with this website. It takes like 2 seconds, and there you go. So let me pull up the notes there. July 21st, 2017. And the guy wanted a link for the book, so we'll give him that too. It was Leonard Euler's autobiography. He said he can read German, so there's the book link. You can read it about it, and it's supposed to be a really simple read, even though he's like a really complex mathematician. There you go. Let me get back here. And here comes the planets today. So we had July 21st, 2017, is what his friend in Italy told him. So we can pull up this is another program we can go fast forwarding time. This is one of the blessings of technology. Oh, wrong way. All right. So we'll get to 2017-ish. He said July, right? July 21st. Yeah, it takes a second to get these things to order up. But there we go. We can.
This is a neat
chart. 21st and 22nd. Or maybe he said 21st. But either way, the planets will be close enough there. And we can see that basically that's not it. The Earth was up here, Mars was over here, Venus and Neptune were over here, Mars and Mercury were right below the Sun but to the left. One was to the right. Yeah, that wasn't the date. So you guys can pull up the picture real quick just so we can confirm it. And there it is. So we can minimize that a little bit and show you. That's not the orbit. It's even if you flip-flopped it and reversed it like this. There it went all at once. So one more. There we go. Yeah, so that's not it. So there you go. Keep trying, guys. Homework. But yeah, I just wanted to interact with the subscribers there, show you guys that video.
Jason, how would you find that specific orbit?
Well, that's what I was explaining. When you look here, I can go in there. This would be the easiest way to calculate it. All right, this is at one of the solstices. I said December because it's facing north, you know, like with the, it just would make sense to me. But we know the occulter like to flip things, and this could even be a mirror image there. Like I said, there's a portal that goes through this to the other side of the bill. But we can see this is a 33% illuminated moon at one of the solstices. And there you go. If you guys can find out that much, I can check and see if it's the planets aligned the rest of the way if you don't want to further it with this website. So yeah, that's how you would do it. 33% illuminated moon on one of the solstices.
Oh, 33.
33. 33. Yeah, you know that degrees, that temperature, whatever. 33-degree
No
Masons.
significance to 33 whatsoever, no.
Yeah, that's yeah. And with the Swiss banking system, like I said, we've always known the crooks and stuff to take money and put them in a Swiss bank account. Google itself even is supposed to had a rumor online circulating that they had millions of dollars go to a bank account over there. A Swiss deposit box numbered 666 in one of the banks. It's just like an $8 million envelope like dropped off each year. Really creepy, weird stuff. That is actually chased with like people that hunt money and things like that. Let me see if there's anything. I had a bunch of stuff to go over at some point, but it's going to take, the stuff that I have would be really in depth. And let me see, I actually have something right here I was talking about. Just 1 second, make sure. Yeah, these were the calculations people wanted to see. This is it. Okay, I posted it in the comment section, but nobody reads that, so.
Oh, people read the comment section. I'm actually surprised how many people go there.
We had Dr. Gerald. Well, yeah, it's just not as widespread. You know, we reached like 20,000 people in a couple hours, and now, you know, 20,000 of those ain't reading the comments was all I meant at that aspect.
Sure.
So you can, they asked how you got, you know, things came to a number on a speed of this and how it could have calculated, how it could have, actually the math matches 2017, April of 2017, which matches Gil Brazard and Robert Harrington, Zachariah Sitch, and all these people suggested, you know, this specific orbit where it would arrive. And they had picture diagrams that were drawn to scale. You can basically measure in inches and use the known planetary distances. And they actually said that it was 3.67 miles, or billion miles beyond Pluto at the point of the 1990 interview, I believe, as of August 30th, 1990. They had a chart. You can measure the chart and go by the measurements in the chart. We've seen as of August 30th, 1990, it was 6.66 billion miles from the sun. That's actually using the chief observer of the U.S. Naval Observatory that was murdered for releasing this data to Sitchin in an interview a year later. So we're going by the head honcho's data. and that's from the IRS scan and the infrared scan that showed the dragon in it. That was January 30th of 1982. So we can do what's called a blink test and measure the distance between the two objects and calculate a speed. Okay, if we know the rough orbit, which the Sumerians told us was roughly 3,600. So you can break that into just a simple math, and the time between them was 8 years, 7 months. You can round that up to 9 because we're not sure of the date of the data. So it just pay off to make it a round integer, make the math easy. It's only a couple months anyways, and to be honest, it's probably more accurate because, you know, the time in between interviews and when they actually collected the data, it just makes more sense. So you take 9 years and you have 2.01 billion miles because you have basically the distance between the 2 points, all right? And then you just, you know, multiply that by 365 after you divide it by 9. You divide it by 9, which happens first, and then you multiply it by 365 by 24, and you get that. So this is the speed of it at that point. And we could tell that at aphelion, that is the furthest distance from our sun, or the furthest distance in the orbit away, is 50 billion miles. So you can say, without this thing, using Kepler's law and all the known laws of physics, not gaining any speed coming towards us at all by gravity of the sun or anything at all, the slowest speed would be 3,170 miles per hour. So we can just realize that I believe would give us a really, that's the very slowest object could go at its furthest distance away. And we can see that speed's a lot different there. So that's about 7 times the speed. So I used about 7 times, well, it's actually just over 8 times, but I used 7 times the mass as my calculation. So basically I used a scalar factor of 7, or what you call, and the scale of Kepler's law basically would increase, you know, as it gets closer, it would gain speed. So in that estimates, you get 34.25 years, and you add that to the last time, you know, and that, like, the last known position, and it's 2017. So it's April of 2017. By those calculations is when it would arrive at its closest point. And that's was a comment to Gerald that you had on your show, Doctor. And apparently he did the math and came out to the same thing, but he used the integer of 8.
Talking about Gerald Clark?
Yeah, and he said he arrived at an integer of 8 and was just basically, he said our math was like identical basically because we used the same charts. So that's cool. It was neat to see, but he actually broke it down into
I don't think he's a doctor, but
I thought it said Dr.
he's
Gerald Clark.
a lot smarter than most doctors out there, yet I don't think he has a doctorate degree to have that specific title. However, I would definitely call him the doctor of the genealogy of the gods because he knows his stuff, man. He's brilliant.
Yeah. I actually thought I seen a doctor before his name before. I thought I seen it like that. That's why I said that. So, yep, just giving him the respect I thought I seen. Somebody maybe mislabeled it or something.
That was Dr. Doom, actually, the show right before that. Yeah.
Bard Butler, is that it? I can't remember.
Gerald Clark, yeah.
Clark. Sorry, I said Butler on the wall. But yeah, and there's this thing he showed on his site today where ISIS is trying to blow up the pyramids in Egypt. They threatened to blow up the pyramids in Egypt. So, and he says that's where like Thoth is in stasis or something. He says a bunch of awesome stuff about it, and he's really versed in it. So, you know, it gives me all the reason to believe him. And I will say that he's very, very versed in his ancient knowledge, which applies to modern knowledge and how we received it. So, yeah, I'll let you guys go ahead and take over the screen for a minute. You want to go ahead and do that?
We'll just keep it where it's at. And, you know, I'm glad you brought up Gerald because we've actually been featuring some of his podcasts on our channel. We've got a designated playlist for some of his episodes. And he is one of the neatest guys I've had a chance to talk to. And when it comes to the Anunnaki and the way that he puts everything together of our possible origins and alternative approach, I really do appreciate how he puts it together. And he's had to go through a lot to release this information. I mean, he's certainly been almost like, I wouldn't say Edward Snowden or anything, but he's had to go through a lot of hardships because of the information that he released. And, you know, he's doing a really good job where he's at right now.
Should say enough, yeah. He moved to Mexico because of, you know, the troubles he was going through, from what I understand of it.
Now, let me share this screen with you guys because I'll tell you what, man. The guy that shared this video wants to remain anonymous, but he said feel free to use it. That's why he shared it with us. And I got this at guestbookings@leakproject.com today. It's just a couple days old. And this is one of the best pieces of video footage I have seen yet to point to the possibility that there is a second sun close to our own that wasn't there several years ago. I mean, this is just, it's mind-blowing. So am I convinced? I I don't know, but it's pretty darn good. So I want you guys to take a look at this, and I want to get your opinion on it. I'm sure you'll leave it in the comments section. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/clandestine time lord. You'll get access to all the latest podcasts first and free, and our website, leakproject.com. Each guest that we have an opportunity to speak with will have their very own page with information about who they are, where they've been, their life, essentially, in a pretty cool biography. And then we're going to talk about the details of the podcast. So if you don't have 2 hours or an hour to watch the show, but you want to get the information, you can go to leakproject.com and you can actually read the bullet points and get some good data. So make sure to check out leakproject.com. Now, this is the video, and I'm going to go ahead and press play here, and tell me if you guys can hear the sound. If it doesn't go through, then that's fine. I'll just play the video. Here we go. Can you guys hear him?
I don't hear anything.
Okay. So if you're not hearing the audio, I figured that might happen. What I'll do is I'll just go ahead and you guys can watch the video, and I'll kind of give my best description of it. So he's got some type of welding glasses on or something to block the sun, basically. But look at this. You can see the sun there. Then right above it, you see what looks like a second sun. And you can see the reflection, obviously, bouncing back and forth there. But watch this. There's this weird thing that looks almost transparent underneath the sun there that follows it back and forth. And you can see those 3 circles stay the same. I think that it's 2 suns, not 3. I think it's 2. But look at what he's doing. Watch this.
I wonder how many layers of glass are in that welding glass, because it's looking like there's actually 2 reflections, and yeah, like there's 2 suns.
Exactly. Now, keep watching this, and you're going to see that you've got your sun, which is stationary. Right above it, that light, that circle is totally stationary. And then you can see the refraction and the reflection, because he's making it very obvious. He's doing his best to debunk that and show you guys what's staying there. So just some great footage. You can see this was just a few days ago. And wow, man.
That's actually 1 day before the video I showed you, and that actually the same object appeared in the same spot in the previous videos that they pulled. So yeah, this is actually correlating with even the Soho images that they were saying was Venus, even though it was going the opposite way. Venus traveled in front of the sun, so the side that was towards us would be dark. We would see a shadow, not a reflection. No, we would not see light reflecting off of it, making it huge. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up. Like, you would see the back of it, and it would cause a shadow. Okay.
Now, look at this right here. Look at how bright the sun looks. That just looks like one sun. And I'm starting to think, is that why the sun is so darn intense right now when you go outside, even though the temperature is 80 degrees, the feeling on your skin, it just feels so much more intense. I'm wondering if that could be because of that second sun. So you're getting... Now, but take a look at this, right? So if that is a second sun, and you can see it with all these different layers and filters and whatever type of lens it's using or glass or whatever. And then when you take that off and then just look at this, boom, look at how bright that is. That's what just looks like one sun, right? Doesn't look like 2 suns or anything else. Just looks like one sun, but look at how bright it is. And then you go back.
Photo ionization. They actually do that, and it makes the cameras like overexposed, your eyes overexposed to the sun. Photo ionization. That's why people say, oh, the chemtrails, you know, they chase after the sun, and they actually appear that way. But as the sun's setting, it's not working anymore. The process of photoionization is gone, so they don't activate anymore. But the ones with the cross sections, the chemtrails that cross each other and you see patterns in, that's because one's part A and one's part B. It's a catalyst. You know, anybody that knows about mixing plastics, catalysts, things like that, there's one that is a catalyst and one that's just, you know, a regular inert object. But once you mix them together, they become something else. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it just blocks your vision, obscures your vision, makes, like I said, it's called photoionization. So
you think that circular object underneath at about the 5 o'clock position that seems transparent is just an anomaly, or do you feel that that could actually be a planet or something?
I believe that could be a planet reflecting light off of it, like actually something reflecting light off of the planet if it's not a glare, because it really doesn't look like a glare to me. It looks almost, like I said, the sun would be maybe reflecting light off that object, say that object maybe between the 2 suns. He's in the southern hemisphere. It almost looks like I don't know why I want to say that. It feels like that to me. I don't know why.
He's got a nice yard. He certainly has a nice little oasis back there. So I really appreciate you sending this footage out to us, and keep up the good work. Also, what I'd like to do while this is playing is I'm going to let you kind of take over for a minute and just talk to us about what you're seeing here. And I'm going to pull up some other footage here.
Yeah, I'm pretty versed in telling what's lens reflection, but this is welding glass, so I can't, I'm not saying I'm professional because you're dealing with multiple panes of glass in a camera lens. So, but those two definitely, I don't think you could debunk that because they're actually throwing separate refractions and reflections of themselves all over it. So that's two light sources.
So, you guys, this is actually from Peter and the United Kingdom out there in the UK. I was going to save this for a podcast tomorrow, but I feel that it's such a good image, I'm going to go ahead and bring it out as soon as possible. So here we go. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit.
And now, Rex, when you get a chance, zoom down in front of the house there so I can show you how it's actually reflecting two light sources.
Look at that.
Down to the right more.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yep, there it
How's
is.
that?
Yeah, but your Leap Project symbol is covering it. There you go. Blam. So two light sources. They both showing that they're off center, so yeah, can't be all in a row like a triplet effect or anything like that.
Yeah, look at that.
That's beautiful.
Look at that. I mean, and then you can see here you've got partial cloud cover right there. Look at the size of that thing. It's huge. Or it certainly appears that way.
Position in that picture, yeah. So we're getting 4 or 5 o'clock position at sunset usually.
Yeah, I think
North
that's
Hemisphere.
Now, here's the other one that he sent. So you can see the sun's completely blocked there. But look at this. Look at this.
It's nice. You can see it.
No sun. I mean, obviously the sun's completely blocked out now. Yet this object's still there.
Unless that object is the sun and then we can't see the one below it anymore, it might be the case. The clouds might have got too dark to see the secondary below it.
Yeah,
I may be wrong.
No, I mean, you absolutely, I mean, that would be the more logical answer, and I want to go with that. However, that looks...
The sun looks like there's a reflection more bright up here, yeah. See?
Just like that.
Yep, so it's in the same spot. Yeah.
I mean, look at the house. Look where the house is located. Looks like it's moved a little bit because you've got the electric wires here, the telephone wires.
That's perfect, though, because that's from behind the clouds. You can't say that that's a lens flare. That's not a lens reflection. You'd have to say that the only way that this would be a fake is it'd be really awesomely photoshopped, which it wasn't.
It's incredible.
You can actually check that by going to the document and view the source, and it'll show you if any programs were used on it. And I'm pretty sure that he's not that good. He'd be in the biz.
How could this be the sun?
Well, that's what I was saying. The sun would be there, and then the one below it, where the wire is down below it, right? If he was standing in the same position, the cloud would just come up and cover it. See how they're in between the wires?
Yeah.
The sun would set further down, so this object would be
there. You go. Okay.
Below the wire a little bit.
You're right.
So the object would still be there, but the clouds, the sun is more vibrant than that, so we don't see this object anymore and barely see the sun.
That would make more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still legit.
It's
not, like I said, that's legitimate.
This is the image that really should make you question the possibility.
Exactly. If you just can't keep an open mind to the idea that, like I said, at least over 90% of the stars we've ever found, it's closer to 99% because you add the trinary star systems in. The only ones that we found like without a star near it had like a black hole or a dying star near it or unformed star near it, So it'd be so rare that we only had one sun in our system. We'll say that. It'd be almost like winning the lottery.
Now, this one, do you think that this is possibly just some...
Looks like it's giving off light.
But then you've got the two different reflections here, correct?
Yeah, that's corresponding. So, yeah. Like I said, you should have one reflection. And if there's two, they'd all be you should be able to, if there's 3 objects, you should be able to connect a straight dot if they were an actual lens reflection. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You'd tunnel them right down, just like the rays coming off the sun.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that looks like 2 objects. It could be the one beside it would be one that's illuminated by the sun, possibly.
That's what I'm thinking.
So much that, yeah, that's why the reflection would be dimmer. Maybe called a cold reflection. If we turned the gamma down on that, and the one to the left disappeared, it could be a cold reflection, proving what we said.
Okay.
Planet reflecting light.
Now, this one's from Istanbul. So thank you, Hakan from Istanbul. He sent us this just to take a look at, and I don't know if there's anything to it, but I figured I'd at least present it here. That guy right there at about the 2 o'clock position.
Yeah.
Is that just a cloud? Possibly.
Can't see at this resolution. It's pretty nifty though, huh?
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting image. Now we'll go to the next one down here. This is from Jason. Uh-oh. It's like my... There we go. All right, this is from Jason. And he used some type of red lens. He has a Samsung S7. And you can see right here, looks like there's another planetary body there or something that catches my eye. Then you've got the sun here. And then I don't know if these are some reflections from that or what those are.
Well, it's so hard to tell from one little shot when they're so perfect and round and close to the sun like that, because anybody taking a picture of it, you have to actually cover the sun. You have to cover the one light source, so the other one won't disappear if it's real. You know what I mean?
Now, take a look at this bad boy. This one's from Houston. Thank you, Jeff. This is a great shot, in my opinion. You got your sun right here. What is that?
That's pretty nifty.
What is that? Is that the moon?
It's almost like it's being illuminated from the wrong side.
What is that?
See what I
right
mean?
there? Oh, yeah. Absolutely, I do. And that's why I'm presenting this, because I don't think that's the moon, but I could be wrong. Would the moon set there at that time of day when the sun's right here?
You could check that stellarium. You could check it with stellarium with just the landmark there and some stuff like that. Just basically face the direction, go to stellarium, look up the date, and see where the moon was in relation to the sun at that time.
I need somebody that's actually good with that software, because I don't know enough about it, or I don't have the time right now to learn enough about it to actually be efficient with it with all the other stuff I've got going on right now, because we're going to start doing live shows here pretty soon. League Project coming up in a couple weeks where we're actually going to travel the country. So if I could get somebody that's listening to this podcast that's really good with Stellarium, has some spare time to help us out, if I can get you these images, or if you can watch these videos, and then with these specific images, if you can correlate the location and tell us what's there, that would be just amazing, and would certainly like to give you credit during, as much credit as possible for doing that for us. It would help us out a lot, and that'd be wonderful. So this is from Mike in Colorado. Mike, appreciate these. Take a look at this bad boy. I don't know if that's possible. Go ahead.
I want to add a point to what you were saying there. Anytime you guys get a good photo like that, like I said, if you can take your thumb, a card, something, and cover the sun and just see if you can get the light source to go away. And also, you can download Starry Night or any of those apps and hold it up to the sun and just see what constellations correlate with that. See if the moon or Mars or anything's near that object you're seeing. And then you can screenshot it, send it with it. And then we got data, even the chemtrails. If you see chemtrails going over a specific spot in the sky, hold up what constellation it is and just correlate it so we can see what's going on. And we can travel, carry the data, spreadsheet it. We can go really far with that data. So, yeah, go ahead. Let me see this.
Absolutely. Now take a look at this one. I feel this is a good shot out of Colorado. You can see you've got this really interesting.
Wow.
So I don't know what your take is on that, Jason.
Well, it looks to me that there's two reflections here. The one at the bottom's classic sun reflection, and the one at the top correlates with the distance there from the sun. So there you go.
Another possibility. Absolutely.
It's dimmer than the one at the bottom, yeah.
I'm telling you, the swamp gas is getting better and better. Here we go. Here's another one. You can see you got the two lens flares there.
Yeah, and like I said, you could actually crop those over each other, like pull them right over the dots, both dots. That's how you can really tell when something's genuine, That's like I said, if he'd hold a card up over the sun and we'd have seen that other reflection and then took a before and after pic, there'd have been no denying it, It had to have been shot.
Cool. Well, yeah, this is good stuff, man. I figured we could leave it out with this picture because this is definitely one of the best that I have seen yet. And
the best I've seen. It correlates with everything. I mean, that's perfect. You said UK, right?
Yep.
And that's sunset. Yeah, yep. There you go.
Brilliant shot, Peter. You are the man. And thank you for sending it to us here at the Leak Project. I'm sure everyone that has a chance to see this will thank you as well, unless they do not want to know anything about it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see that picture, man. Well, that's the beauty. You can turn this off at any time.
Yep.
So,
That's why I like touching on even the religious aspects at times, because people don't realize that like a lot of the stuff that brought me into the study was the original religious texts and stuff. They were talking, there's a secret, it's a cryptogram, it's a puzzle you're trying to solve, and if you don't look at it from a religious standpoint, you break the obstacles that are there and you can solve a lot of the puzzle, especially if you look back through. And like I said, the ones I pointed out to you seem pretty blatant about what they're talking about. I mean, so you can hit it from all aspects and see that it's coming together, correlating. And like I said, I try to debunk it every day, man, and haven't been lucky yet. Like I said, I wish that it wasn't true. I'd like to, know that I can guarantee a good future and I grow old, but that's, hard to say. So that's all I can have to say on that subject. Please do your homework, guys, and keep commenting in the posts and stuff. That keeps the shows relevant to you and keeps you interacting. And yeah, check out the Leak Project website. It's pretty professional, actually.
Also,
I
you
go to it
guys,
to watch the videos.
yeah, and just
Ad-free.
remember the 30,000th subscriber is going to get a pretty cool Leak Project t-shirt. So just a few hundred subscribers away, and I'm going to say within the next day or two, somebody's going to get this shirt. So our storefront will be up here pretty soon. It's actually completed. Bilal is one of the most amazing web developers I've ever met in my life, and I just feel blessed to work with this guy. He actually reached out to us several months ago when I put together a podcast saying we were looking for somebody. And this guy is just top notch. So check out the website, leakproject.com, subscribe, youtube.com/clandestine Time Lord. Also, I want to recommend you guys check out this new film that's coming out pretty soon by L.A. Marzulli. It's Watchers 10 DNA. So you can actually go directly to leakproject.com and watch the trailer there, or you can watch it on L.A. Marzulli's YouTube channel. He's put together 9 previous episodes of The Watchers, and every single one of them is cutting edge. If you want to see these just incredible archaeological digs where they pull out giant bones and cone heads, it's just fascinating. So he breaks down that stuff like nobody else I've ever talked to. Really good information. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight here at the Leak Project, and make sure to be the change you want to see. This is Rex Bear. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this edition of Leak Project. I'm your host, Rex Bear, and we have fan favorite Jason Jeffries with us again. We're going to talk about some new data that Jason has put together on this possible Planet X anomaly in the sky. And this first video footage that we're looking at here is actually from Brisbane. Great footage, by the way, Jason. I'm really glad you found this because this might not be up for somebody that's trying to get access to it now, correct?
Yeah, that's actually, as I just showed you, we can't get it to pull back up unless I just refresh where I already uploaded it to the internet here. So yeah, this is the last of it, basically.
Okay. Now there's a guy by the name of Steve Dreyer, or his channel, Steve Dreyer YouTube channel, and he has a lot of stuff on Planet X and Nibiru. That's what he specializes in. And I tried to get him on the show before, but right now he's just so busy with what he's doing. He's focusing he's focusing pretty much all of his attention on his channel right now, and he doesn't do a lot of talking. He's letting the pictures and the video footage speak for themselves, and I appreciate that. So with the stuff that he's put together, I've seen some really good footage, and he's done a lot of stuff in Australia, and he sent me images of what looks like these planetary bodies almost blocking out a part of the sun as they go around it, I guess you could say, in the orbit. But I've seen multiple webcams now from around the world that have these same anomalies. And what I am wondering is if these same things happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if you saw these same black spots that would be either in the center or off to the maybe 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock position, but still in front of the sun. So it looks like an eclipse almost because that part of it's blacked out. But he says that there's a lot of times he'll be getting video footage or basically screen capturing video footage from these cameras, and then he'll go back the next day or a few hours later and the stuff's gone. So it sounds to me like that's what they did with this stuff right here.
Yeah, that's what happened with the Dragon. When I got a couple of the first screenshots here in my archive of the Dragon, it was pulling up on the scan on the Google Sky and all the other programs. But me and you took like a couple weeks to get together and things like that, and you go back to Google Sky now and it's gone. They edited that out, but you can go to NASA Skyview and still see it, and then correlate it to Google Sky if you download Google Sky and Google Earth instead of the online version. But yeah, so since it was a downloaded, they'd have to upload, kind of make it an update, once they kind of change things. So
Sure.
I mean, how it got slipped through the cracks there. And nobody hardly uses NASA Skyview, because it's you have to be giving it coordinates, to know where it's at. You can't just surf it. So,
Right.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and get right into this video. This is Brisbane, Archerfield, Northwest. This day they were told that they were having extreme weather conditions, stay indoors, away from windows, all that. To clarify, it's,
Who was telling them that?
That was, I guess the local government, the
propaganda machine?
Yeah, the emergency broadcast, whatever. To clarify, sunset right now on this day would be 5:27. You can click view sunset and it'll take you right to that time, and it'll show you that it's opposite the seasons, you know. So we'll get right into it. Start it up here. There we go. And then here's sunset. So this is after sunset. Sun went down. Seeing the sky get red. And we'll play it for one more second here, and I'll try to catch it. We got advanced through some frames. It's the easiest way to spot it. Right there. We get the first image of it in 622. 623, our refraction comes off of it. And the sun's down. This is behind the cloud layer. You can see it there. This is a whole minute different from the previous shot. This is 2 minutes. Still there. 3 minutes. Still there. Refraction still there. 4, still there faintly. 5, I can still see it. Especially if you draw back on your screen, you can still see it there.
So this is a period of 5 minutes then?
And, well, 7. 7,
Okay.
this appears right here. You can see it fade away from the previous image. Cloud covered's getting, you can see it obstructing the refraction even. And the refraction disappears as the object disappears. It's right there. You can see it all as it appears. The refraction appears on the camera, meaning it's giving off light. And it goes away as the object goes away. So yeah, I'll show you if you click view sunset and go to time lapse, just to show you how this has really been pulled. And I mean, basically I was one of the last ones to get it, and I watched the ones before it. It was there in a video or two before it too. Same thing. It looked like almost very similar, but you can't pull them up now. So I'll show you. It comes up like this and shows us the time that the sunset was 5:20. So it does that automatically, as updates with the sunset. So yeah, interesting, huh? This is how I got it to bring back up. That's the only way we can get it to bring back up, is to actually go back, and it's just because they uploaded the images to, you know, the server or whatever, basically a connection to my network there. We'll go to Google Sky, and this is spot guy in the comments section there did on the last video we had, and he told us about a spot in the sky.
Thank you, Guy, in the comment section.
Well, I'll get to your name in a moment. Sorry about that.
I'm just joking, Jason.
So yeah, but it's nice to give recognition to those who deserve it.
Oh yeah.
So I'll go ahead and look it up here in a minute for you, Guy from the comment section. but he showed me a blank spot and wanted us to look at it and give us our intel. So
You know, it's awesome how astute the listeners are here at the Leak Project. I know that you started listening how long ago, Jason?
about 2 months ago, I guess.
Okay, about 2 months.